Well, hello my beautiful Gemini, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for June 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about to pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, you may notice that I'm in a different location at this time. I've just gone to visit family members for the next coming weeks, but I will be back in my usual space after that. Just thought I'd explain the location change there. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Gemini, this is your monthly reading for June. I can't believe we're here already, but here we are. Now, happy birthday to all you wonderful Geminis who are having a birthday during the month of June. And of course, to all you wonderful Geminis who've already had your birthday, I hope you had the most magical time indeed. We are officially in your season. Now, I wonder how you're dealing with that because we've just had Saturn move into the sign of Aries, making us all sit up straight, pay close attention to higher standards, and really keep our eyes on our personal prize. Now, Saturn moving signs can give us all a pretty major wake-up call to remind us that our actions today really shape our future to come. It reinforces discipline and questions our life philosophy and belief systems. You know, it can be a pretty austere energy, especially since you're in your birthday season. You know, this can make you think about your legacy, the path that you're on right now and where you feel like you are and where you want to take life to next. But luckily, we have my favorite planet, Jupiter, muscling in on the action this month to really steal the glory by offering us a great big cosmic hug and of course deliver rewards for all of your hard work and focus. It also offers gateways of opportunity to better luck, and the planets, you know, they shift signs all the time, but we've had some pretty major shifts recently that have been hard to catch a break. You know, thank goodness for June taking the edge off before things really intensify in July, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves yet, for we are going to bask in June's pause to really appreciate all that we have so far and of course all that is yet to come. Now, it's been really challenging at the moment, and the pressure, of course, is really on. And you can lose sight of all the things that you've achieved so far, especially when you're in a flurry of activity to keep life moving forward to hit your next target. But June is a month where, you know, the more you acknowledge your personal accomplishments so far, it will reflect and amplify to send more back into your life. For we've officially moved into your glorious season, my beautiful Gemini, and that's all about the twins, mirroring, doubling down on the energy, whilst Jupiter will expand to offer you more. And of course, when you step into your personal power and know that you deserve more, the universe will deliver opportunities for more. Now, of course, you know, we still have to focus on responsibilities, but this month reminds you to enjoy life's simpler pleasures. Fun with your nearest and dearest, especially since you're in your 7th house of relationships there. Reset time in nature, you know, preparing and eating, you know, nurturing good foods, and, you know, alone time to really connect to your higher self. Now, Jupiter's greatest influence this month will be in the sign of Cancer. And of course, that will affect your personal life. And it's all about your relationships, your home life, your emotions, how you're feeling about things right now. And of course, this is a 6th vibration month, which really guides us home to self. So you're going to be asking big philosophical questions there about who you are, what feels like home, who feels like home to you as well, and maybe even redefine boundaries. You'll be all up in your feelings as you endeavor to appreciate the present moment with the people that you really care about the most. But also it encourages declarations to self on what you are not willing to accept anymore, and reinforces using that word no as a boundary of self-care. Now, this will be a softer month of heartfelt connections and a desire to create sacred space for important conversations. But you have the Tower there, so some of you, you may experience a little bit of a disruption there. I definitely see it's in the right position because it means that you are, making some radical changes in your life. But as this is a softer month of heartfelt connections and a desire to have that sacred space, there could be some noise pollution, shall we say. So if you're trying to have a moment of self-care, you could find your neighbors are doing a bit of DIY. So I hate to give you that message, but you are starting with a Tower, and I didn't give you that card, it popped out for you. So that is something that is popping out there as well. But your season will give you a little bit of an inner battle. I mean, I feel like you're used to that because of that duality within you. The twins always present both sides of each energy there. You'll have that desire for alone time, but of course your extroverted side will also take great strides to shine. The prowess of your intellect, it demands to be heard and seen as it encourages creativity during this time, questioning, great debates, and of course alternative opinions. The magical energy this month demands that you stay curious, explorative, adventurous, and open to that alternative path. Now, June is pretty much a major personal comeback month as it removes stagnancy, and that's what you've got there. It awakens, okay? It awakens your imagination to run wild, and you have that imagination running wild there with that Tower energy. It is a card of awakening. So I feel a lot of you, if you've been in hermit mode, because you do have the Hermit there, it can be that you're breaking through something or breaking out of the funk, as it were. It's really a month to celebrate you and the unique spark of brilliance that you bring to your world. I mean, you're ending with the Star energy, so this is your month to shine and have major personal breakthroughs as well as professional if you're in a career. We also have fiery Mars in Virgo, which keeps you focused on the minute details to serve your higher purpose with precision and refinement. Now, of course, you'll be super productive to make major improvements, and the full moon will be in the sign of Sagittarius on the 11th, and let's just say that will be a little bit unpredictable, so you may encounter a major plot twist. I definitely see that you're going to encounter that, but this is where your spontaneous side comes out to play. You might even surprise yourself. Suddenly, booking an impromptu event, vacation, or launching a project, or doing something really bold and daring that either you've been putting off or perhaps meaning to get round to, but this is the month to do it. The full moon, as it's in a fire sign, we could see intermittent dips in personal energy as well. So it's important to keep on top of your energy levels, and also perhaps some power outages because we will have some major solar flares there as well. And I would say it's important to pay close attention to the 19th of June. Well, maybe let's say the 15th to the 19th of June, because Jupiter in Cancer, it clashes with Saturn, but also Neptune, okay, which could ring in a bit of a disappointment. However, that new moon on the 25th in Cancer will then try to soothe the volatile situations in order to offer a better solution. So often, when things start to break down, it's often because the universe is trying to show us a better way or an alternative that is going to be more beneficial in the long run. Sometimes we can't see that when there is uncomfortable change energy going on in our life. But in terms of global events, also this combination, the planetary alignments, see some water-related events, a clash on the high seas, flooding, or even volatile underwater activity that expands land masses. And I did mention this in my yearly forecast. And of course, we will have increased seismic activity that will move towards a climax. I did mention to keep an eye on the Ring of Fire, and it has been super active this year, and it will come to some sort of climax, as I mentioned there. But the most intense energy will probably be the end of June into July. Okay, now of course a couple planets, they are shifting into the sign of Cancer during your season. And this will encourage people to come together to offer, support, humanitarian aid in crisis. So we will see, a more compassionate society during the month of June. We'll also see a detoxification energy when it comes to, our personal lives, because we've got so many planets in the water elements. So we're going to be looking at additives in the food industry, perhaps, or even a major shakeup in the agricultural sector too, as, a discussion of removing harmful chemicals enters a discussion for change. And of course, the influence with Sagittarius and your sign, it can encourage global activism, a desire for freedom and change, to reinforce transparency. Major exposés will continue this month, especially in and around the mismanagement of global funds. And, you're in your second house at the end of the month, and that's why it's kind of influencing those conversations, those topics. Second house is all about value, it's about money, it's about acquisitions, property, things like that. So we could see some, economic fluctuation in and around that time as well. But also, there is some really positive stuff right at the end of the month, because of course, we will have the solstice, opening up a gateway to personal growth and healing. And it also marks a return of personal light and hope. A highly sensitive month for the collective, and you personally will be listening to your heart to move forward with great purpose. And because we are in a season where we start to think about your legacy, because it is your season, the Tower, it is your protagonist energy, which means you're in control of the change. And this could be a major revamp or overhaul in your life in some way. Now, there's going to be lots of epiphanies, realizations. You're going to be looking at where you feel stuck, okay, in order to break free. This is a card where you take a leap of faith and break free from something that has either had a hold on you or has been on your mind recently. We have the Queen of Cups there, and we have the Three of Pentacles. For some of you, this could literally be that you are in a group of people, if you're single, and suddenly you meet a person and you're falling in love. It's like, oh my gosh, love at first sight. The Tower is not a negative card. It means suddenly. It means surprise. It means like a bolt from the blue, something that is rare. And for some of you, this could also be that, of course, if you've come to this reading, if you've come into June having experienced a shock or an upset, firstly, I'm sending you a huge hug out there. So much love, because of course the Tower can represent something that shook your very foundations. But this is something that already happened, because it is the starting card. It's something you're coming into the month of June with. I do see healing here with that star energy. Okay, I do see a recalibration, a support network with that Three of Pentacles, people rallying around or coming together in some way to offer advice or support. Or perhaps you have, been there for a person who is going through that shock, because the Three of Pentacles can indicate that you are there for someone, a great friend. They're leaning into you, and you're offering them a shoulder to cry on, or you're offering some sort of solace there with that Queen of Cups. Now, if you've come to this reading and you are out of a job or out of work, whether you were made redundant or lost your job or had to walk away from something that was really toxic, what I can see here is, an opportunity where you will collaborate either with a brand or a company that you've always wanted to work with. I definitely see here a measure of success. You've got the star energy, an opportunity aligns with you. You may even hear this opportunity through the grapevine, and you may pursue it. But there's a contract here. The Justice card indicates that you'll sign a contract in the month of June. And it feels like it's a star position, because the Six of Wands is all about success, being seen, flourishing in your industry, whatever that is. For some of you, if you are a business owner, or you're creative and you run your own creative endeavors, I definitely see here there could be some radical changes in and around rules, regulations, policies, the way you pay tax, for example. There could be some changes in that may shock at first, but also once it settles down and you kind of like recalibrate, I feel it will be easier when you get in the flow of it. That's what's coming out there as well. But it feels like this is a month of all change. For some of you, this Tower energy can be that you're going to do some DIY around the home space, okay? Because, of course, the Tower can indicate a restructure of something. It can be that you're literally knocking down a wall or even building your own home. For some of you, it could just be that you're giving your place a lick of paint or something fresh and new. Because the Tower can represent a structure that we've been locked in for some time and a desire to break free from it. But we're comfortable. So it can indicate that with that Three of Pentacles there, you're looking at your plans. You know, this is you engineering a plan, and it can be that either you discover something in your plan needs to be tweaked, or you're changing your approach, because the Tower can be a sudden change or a sudden realization. Also, there could be some sudden changes in a friendship there with that Three of Pentacles. For some of you, there is this energy of compassion with that Queen of Cups there. So it could be that someone shocks you or something shocking occurs in a friendship there, and, you know, you're recalibrating after that. You know, the Queen of Cups, you know, there's a wonderful image there. You know, the window, they often say, is, you know, the eyes are the window to the soul. So it could be that, you know, window pane. I'm being given the Eminem song. That's why they call it window pane. Is that the lyric? That's what I'm hearing Eminem saying. So, okay, I can't really remember the name of that song because I'm scrying at the same time as doing this, and I'm accessing different parts of my energy right now. So perhaps the name of the song will come to me, or my guides will give it to me, but right now that's all I'm hearing. So it could be that for some of you, there is this energy of dissecting pain or looking at very challenging emotions that threaten to sort of tear you down, because this is a very sensitive month. I mean, we've got that Queen of Cups, which is a Cancerian energy, so you're going to be highly influenced because it is your season to be all up in your feels. You're going to be very sensitive this month, so it could raise some really shocking emotions within you. Things that perhaps you felt like you'd overcome, they're resurfacing this month, so you can really, you know, let go of them or see if they trigger you anymore. And there may be one thing that triggers you this month to feel extra sensitive, but it's because you're setting yourself free. It's because you're understanding it from a different viewpoint now that you've matured away from this situation in some way. So if you've gone through like a separation, for example, it could be that you're re-empowering yourself, that you're learning to live in a different pace or a different era, as it were. You're rebuilding, but you're not like starting from scratch. You're starting from experience, and you're stronger than ever before, and therefore you're aligning with the person that you're meant to be with. Your true love is coming in there. I definitely see a lot of you are focused on your plans, okay? You're very diligent. This can indicate that you're kind of like suddenly having a wake-up call where you feel you need to focus on, you know, the next steps on your plan, because the Three of Pentacles there can indicate structure. It can be like a project, for example. Some of you may even consult on a project in order to move ahead in some way. But the Three of Pentacles is all about your creativity as well. So it could be that some of you, not all of you, but some of you, if you're a creative, it could be that you suddenly discover that someone has tried to copy your work or try to, you know, maybe even try to knock down your price on whatever it is that you're selling at this time. But looking at the 2 3s either side and the Justice card, the price is the price. And if that's what you are deciding it is, that's what it is. I don't feel like there's any negotiation there. I feel that your talent and your gift is worth what you're asking for it. So I definitely see that there as well. Now, of course, you're all up in your 7th house this month, so that's all about your relationships, your partnerships, the people in your everyday circumstances. So I'm not surprised to see 2 3s there, a 3 of Pentacles and a 3 of Cups, because this is a gathering, people coming together, maybe even invitations there. This is about spending time with your nearest and dearest, but also kind of assessing reciprocity and making sure that you're being more discerning about the company that you keep. Now, for some of you, this Tower can be that you're moving. It could be that you're relocating and there's a lot of chaos there, but it could be that people who really support you come together to help you move certain items. For example, for some of you also, It could be that if you are trying to work on a project in silence and you don't want to have any distractions because the Hermit is there, which means you want to squirrel yourself away in order to either process something or remove yourself from something in order to prioritize self-care or even a personal project there. Or maybe you're trying to be inspired because that bear is like endurance. It is a sign or symbol of endurance, and the star is outside the lantern. So it could be that you've been enduring a situation, a cycle of repeat that has kept you kind of like locked into your responsibilities and to your tasks and duties, which of course we all have to adhere to. That Saturn energy says you have to have strict focus on those things, but suddenly, you know, you have a wild imagination and you're setting that star free. And of course, the star is there shining. So this could be a wonderful new idea that suddenly hits you like a bolt from the blue. And it can be that you discuss it with the people that you care about, and suddenly you realize you're actually onto an award-winning idea or something that is going to catapult you into the public eye, for example. You know, the Tower and the Star can literally be that, you know, you go viral this month for something if you're on social media. If you're an influencer, it could be that you decide to, you know, really be your authentic self and speak your truth on something. And it may shock the very foundation of people around you, but ultimately it is your truth. And there could be a lot of people who really understand what you're saying, and you could have like a gathering or a following or more people interested in what you have to say because you are the truth. You are authentic in everything that you're speaking right now. But, you know, the Tower, there's a change. As you can see, those two butterflies are exiting the Tower. Now, the fact that the Tower is in your protagonist energy, it means you are restructuring your life in a different way. It's like a personal wake-up call. If the Tower was in the outcome energy, I'd say, oof, Gemini, watch out. There's going to be some turbulent energy on the way. But I feel like you are the storm this month. I feel like you're the one making some changes. It's almost like you've been in a chrysalis period for some time, maybe even felt like you dissolve your sense of self, and now you're trying to come out to play, okay? Now, your Three of Pentacles is there. Your second house is influencing you from the middle of the month, and that's all about value, of course, how you value yourself. You know, your seventh house is also about justice. It's about equality. So some of you could be looking at equality in relationships or in your working circumstances, and you know, you're all here about addressing the balance. So you could actually negotiate a better deal this month, or perhaps find an alternative opportunity that really serves a purpose and gives back for all of your hard work and your talent there. But it says here, teamwork, collaboration, and building together. So either you and your partner, if you're in a relationship, or you and your family, it's like everyone pulling together. For some of you, if there is some news that has shaken your foundations, this could be that everybody is coming together to really heal, or, I mean, there is a death card there, but what I want you to be aware of, basically, is this has happened already, because the Tower is in your protagonist energy. It's your first card. So if you have experienced a bereavement recently, firstly, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love, okay? And I can see that there is a healing process, but I can also see this energy of like people trying to navigate grief coming together. I mean, Three of Pentacles, there's two snakes there, which represent transformation, but it can also raise up old wounds, or it can, you know, really change people. So I feel everyone will navigate this period in a different way. There'll be different approaches, and you may not understand someone's, because I feel there's one person who may act a little bit differently than other people, and you may not understand their behavior. And looking at the energy, this person, I feel there's fear. It's like they're lashing out in fear, okay? They're grabbing onto something that almost kind of helps them project their focus elsewhere, okay? So I'm not here to excuse anyone's behavior, but I feel this person is trying to get to grips with something, and their defense mechanism is anger, frustration, and maybe even like a toxic cycle that sort of comes out, okay? In time, this sort of relationship or rift will heal or change, but I feel there could be one person who has a dynamic where they're just like creating more problems. So that's coming out there, and I hate to give that message, but I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. Now, I'm just seeing if I can get a sign or a symbol coming through. All I'm seeing, and this is just random, you know, this may not resonate with everyone, I'm seeing a little ladybird or ladybug on a golden cube. Okay, do I have a golden cube here? No. Yeah, I'm just seeing a golden cube. I'm not really sure why, or this could be about value, or it could be about good luck. This person is sending you good luck. It could be a sign or a symbol that you'll see over the next coming weeks or months there, okay? But again, if you think about the nature of, you know, a ladybug or a ladybird, however you call it, there tends to be equal dots on either side. So it can indicate that, you know, destiny is about taking chances. It's about going after your dreams. It's about better luck being sent from beyond the veil. And I feel this person is sending a lot of warmth, love, and healing. You know, they want you to live in the moment, as it were. So this could be the sign or symbol. Of course, you're going to go through a grieving process, and there's going to be, you know, fluctuations. The moon card indicates there's going to be moments where you're feeling disassociated, numb, really in shock there, and other moments where you're going to be feeling like emotionally broken, and a lot of sensitivity there, and tears, of course. And this person, they walk by your side. So because the Hermit is in the resistance position, that can indicate that this person, they return a lot. You know, they're always in the present energy with you, and they can hear you. So I'm just going to leave that there with a lot of love and respect and disconnect from that energy. But I want to be very clear that this is something that I'm picking up on that has already happened and is not to come, okay? So I don't want anyone freaking out there. I just want you to be aware of that, okay? So bringing it back to your energy, I feel that Three of Pentacles is you building your financial stability. You know, I'm actually seeing in the water there an arrow, and it's shooting an arrow. It's like a bow and arrow being shot at a tree. Okay, tree represents wealth. So this could be where your focus is this month. You're focusing on, you know, situations where you either give away your power or undersell your talents, or even notice when people underestimate you. But ultimately, second house is all about money. It's about work. It's about income. It's about values. It can be about aesthetics as well. So some of you could, you know, pay close attention to your beauty routines during this time. But I feel it's all about your attitude towards stability there. And the Three of Pentacles, you're the sort of person that when you do well, everyone benefits. You're very generous there, either, you know, extending your generosity financially or treating people there. But I feel this is a month with that Three of Pentacles where you're focused on your plans, okay? You have a plan, you are focused on it completely. And with the Three of Cups, there's celebration around that. There's a Justice card energy, could be some contracts coming in. If you're someone who wants to work in an industry where you're seen for your talents, either in the public eye, this is a great month where you could actually win a role or a job or an opportunity, a gig, or, you know, just something that comes in that sees you being seen. You know, it could be that you become famous, or you have extended reach in this month. If you're someone who is an influencer online, this could be that more people are attracted to what you have to say, and there will be a change. You're having a glow up there. For some of you, you know, this is more personal. This is about you making some changes within yourself, about your body, your mind, your soul, because the Three of Pentacles can be about your body, and this is your glow up moment. This beautiful figure here is sitting in all their glory and is like kind of almost like generating this power. It's like a magnet energy. It's like when you believe in yourself, you'll start to see more opportunities be drawn towards you. But I feel like this plan that you have right now, it will literally change everything, because this snake energy can indicate that there is transformation upon you, especially since you have more snakes over here. You know, this change, it's on a Three of Cups, which means there's celebration, there's reward here. This is a time of excitement. It's a time of people coming together and sharing in your win, as it were. So this could be also like a personal win. It could be that you've been committing yourself to be more active, and you're seeing like changes within your body or your mindset in some way. And now you're feeling, you know, this glow up within you. Some of you, you know, this Three of Pentacles and the Tower can literally mean that you're cutting something out because you've had a reaction to something and it isn't good for your body, or it isn't good for your mind. It can be giving you intense highs and lows, and when you sort of like get rid of it, you feel much lighter, much more clear in your mind there. I mean, you know, the snakes can represent toxicity. So a lot of you could be looking at the nature of something that is either toxic in your environment, This could be an actual neighborhood. It could be, you know, a relationship, because your seventh house of relationships is influencing you there. But also it could be, you know, a food substance or something in your home space. Now, this is coming through, which is unusual, but I have to mention it. For some of you, you may even be focused on anything that's toxic in the home space if you have a pet. So there could be something that has like a very pungent scent that is perfumey, okay, that smells amazing to us, but perhaps the sensitivity of, you know, a little dog's nose or a cat's nose, or, you know, if you have smaller pets as well, like gerbils or rabbits and things like that, there could be, you know, this intensity, and perhaps you've been noticing your pet being a little bit off, okay, and it could be something that is very pungent in its smell to the pet, but to you it smells amazing because it's like giving this wonderful scent in and around the home space, but for your pet that has like amplified sensitivity in the nostril area, I'm just being given this energy that perhaps you may discover, you know, a root cause, and once you remove that, then everything goes back to normal, you know. So that's coming out there, really random, but I had to mention it because it's coming out there. Now, the Queen of Cups is all about your vision of what you would love to do in life. And of course, you know, the Queen of Cups always holds a chalice with water in it, and or a samovar. Now, this is about honoring your values, building healthier boundaries, of course. But, you know, I use a scrying vessel, as it were. It is basically some sort of bowl or a cup or whatever with a body of water in it. And it can be that you're locked onto your dreams. You are structured. You are disciplined this month, but you're all up in your feelings about your goals and your dreams, your hopes and wishes. And this can indicate that you have a healthy balance between, you know, the plan, the structure of it, and of course, how you feel about it. And this is going to give you a great manifestation potential there as well. You're taking action towards something, and the star energy indicates you're aligning with it. So there's definitely some changes here going on. And the Hermit energy, of course, it is in the resistance position at first. So for example, if some of you have been out there having fun with friends, you know, if you've been going out there and not been focused on your goals or dreams, this tower is definitely a wake-up call to like get back into action and focus on the structure. So some of you could be getting that at this time, but ultimately it could be the other way around, that you need a little bit more balance, that you've been focused on something for a long time and got stuck in a routine, and now it's time to come out of your comfort zone and connect to the people you care about and have fun. They miss you, but also you change your vibration when you have balance, harmony, and variety, because of course it is the spice of life there. But a lot of you with this Hermit energy, there could be a personal project that you want to go and do behind the scenes, to be inspired, to have no disruptions. So if you do work in like a shared work environment, there could be some like refurbishments going on, or even some noise from the street, the sidewalk, and it could threaten to kind of distract you in some way or cause an irritation, as it were. But you may actually remove yourself and go to either a quieter office if that's possible, or for some of you, it may work from home with this card. For some of you, you may actually just change a location of where you are just to get a little bit more quality time so you can focus. You know, the Hermit rarely goes into the cave unless they're truly fed up and exhausted of something that has been plaguing them for some time. So a lot of you could be removing yourself in order to get inspired, okay? But majority of you are looking at situations that you've endured for some time, and it's this period where you're like looking at yourself, what you stand for, your personal beliefs, of course, your life philosophy, and saying, actually, I don't need to accept that anymore, because you recognize that anything you do not change, you accept. So this is a month of change, and there's something here that you don't want to accept anymore, so you're removing yourself from this situation. I mean, the King of Swords, it's initially in the resistance position, but it will go into the upright energy, which means some of you have either been giving away your power, because this is a Gemini card, okay? Or it can be that you've been dealing with a person who has... I'm being given this energy. Let me just tap into it. One moment, please. Passive aggressive. Thank you so much. I'm truly grateful. There could be someone who has been passive aggressive recently, or you've been pooling your resources into a certain situation and been neglecting your own needs. Well, this is the month to redefine your boundaries and connect to self, your needs from a healthy place. But also, I see here that there is a really old idea that you had. It feels like it's been on hold for a long time. It's like you suddenly start reflecting on this and you're like, I wonder if I did this idea now, how it would turn out. Well, the answer is it will be so successful. It would change everything. So if there is a really unique idea that's sitting in the back of your mind that you've been mulling over from time to time, it pops in there, your guides are giving you a nudge this month to say, hey, let's talk about it, let's do it. Because I definitely see here you're going to be more in the flow this month, and I feel like you are creating a plan or a strategy. But also I feel for some of you, there is a moment of success, a pinnacle of success. This could be news or an opportunity that comes in here that you did not plan for, okay? Because when you have the King of Swords in the resistance position, it's something that was not a thought in your mind, okay? And the Tower can indicate something surprises you, but the outcome is a win. The Three of Cups is a win. I mean, if that was a Three of Swords, I'd say, uh-oh, there is going to be something that causes you a bit of a struggle at the end of the month there. But it's a Three of Cups, which means whatever the surprise is, you know, your thoughts are becoming things, but it may be something that you may have thought about a long time ago and forgot about, or it's something that you were just not expecting at all. And it comes in and it's really exciting. It does change everything. I feel a lot of you is connected to your sense of purpose there with that judgment energy. You may have to make a decision regarding this, whatever this is. Something's being offered to you. But I feel there is an energy where some of you, you know, because the King of Swords initially is in the resistance position, if you have to make a decision, you know, your Queen of Cups is in your protagonist energy. And this tells me that you may make an emotional decision or a knee-jerk reaction to this at first. But I feel it's important to have that balance because of that Justice card where you need to make a head and a heart decision, okay? Because it says here, head over heart, clear truth and discipline, but it's in the resistance position at first. So I would say, you know, come back into balance. Initially, when you get a really great opportunity or something comes your way and you're so excited, don't be blindsided by the initial reaction. Do your due diligence, dig a little bit deeper. There's nothing untoward here, but it may come with some terms and conditions or something that you need to really negotiate in order to get the best deal out of it, okay? So for example, you know, if you get your dream job opportunity, it's a role that has a lot of status. This is where you come into your own. It's the job that you've been waiting for your whole life. Maybe you're actually, you know, missing some business steps, as it were. You may be going from one status and like catapulting up like several roles to a really high influential position. And whilst that is wonderful, congratulations if that's you, because I definitely see that happening here, there could be something with that moon energy where, you know, it's not a hidden clause. It can be identified. It's in the contract is what I'm seeing there with that Justice card. But it could be something that's missed or overridden because of your sense of excitement and joy that you've just got your dream job opportunity. And it could be something that actually later on you'd want to change, or you feel a little bit disappointed that you missed it. So just be a little bit mindful of that, okay? Now this can also be applied to many different things. So for example, if you're upgrading your cell phone or your car, it can be that you're so elated to get the make, model, and everything that you really want at a really great deal, a great price, but there could be something in the contract or something that you locate a little bit later on that you think, oh, how did I miss that? And it's because, you know, you were so excited to get the thing that you wanted that perhaps it was just one little thing that was maybe in the fine print. So just watch out for that, okay? So I'm just going to move on from that energy. I feel after a period of not being disciplined, Saturn is giving you that wake-up call to be back on your goals and your dreams. And you work really hard, you know, but you have to find that balance and that duality. There has to be time and space for fun. Now we do have Two of Wands, okay? Something is being reflected back to you, and it is good luck. I feel Jupiter is working really hard for you this month to help you with an endeavor, a wish, because we have that star energy. But also, for some of you, this is a deep period of healing and reflection on who you are, both sides of yourself, because this is, of course, a card of duality, as you can say, the mirrored experience there. And, you know, sometimes it's really hard to be you because you're the sort of person who you see everything from all sides. You don't lock on to just one vision. You see everything from all sides, and you have to make a decision then on which side you're going to stand on at each moment. So it can be you're also reflecting on your journey. A lot of you are exhausted, okay? Especially when you got that Queen of Cups energy. Some of you may notice that you have a hormonal imbalance this month, or perhaps you've been dealing with that, trying to manage that. You know, I feel it could come to a critical kind of stage where you have to seek advice or do something about it to make sure there's change. For some of you, if you tend to have moments of dealing with something that flares up, for example, I hate to give you this message, but the Tower can be a flare-up of something, whether it's psoriasis, either you're worried about something, or it could be, some sort of inflammation or arthritis. There could be a minor, I want to say minor because it seems to be in the protagonist energy and then it's dealt with. So it seems to be quite quick. If it was in the middle position and, the energy was filtering into the end, I would say it could be a very long process to get back to managing it, but I feel it's momentarily going to impact you in some way, but you will heal from this. You'll identify a way of managing it better there as well. Ultimately, I feel a lot of you are reflecting on your legacy. What you stand for. You're going to be, of course, focused on your cash, your property, budgets, being stricter with your finances there as well because of that second house. A lot of you are going to be soul searching. That's what the Hermit does. Soul searches where they belong. So this could be you searching for your forever home or thinking about moving or even looking at, buying property or selling at this time as well. Basically, you're looking at what you're achieving right now and what you deserve to have as a result. And if you feel that the universe has left you out a little bit, this is a reflection month where, some really good karma comes right back to you. But also, as you can see, there's two hands there reflecting each other and connecting. So this is connection to your higher self as well as to the people around you. And that's what this month is all about because of your 7th house. It doesn't mean that nothing's happening. It just means that you're maintaining and sustaining life, but also you're actually making some long-lasting changes in your life to be stricter with yourself so that you get the best and be your best version of yourself there as well. Now, the moon energy, because there is this duality there, some of you could be, setting up second streams of income. There could be, an energy of you doing something that you maintain and sustain monthly, for example, and you may have a side hustle that you're launching. A lot of you, speaking your truth, writing a book or expressing yourself through some sort of art or creative endeavor. This is something that could really either be very successful or make you famous. For example, some of you, if you're retired, it could be that you are a little bit nervous about the volatility of the 401ks, and you may decide to talk about your experiences in life, all the knowledge that you've acquired in a certain sector or the experiences that you've had personally. Or for some of you, it could be you discussing retiring and helping other people, but you could partner up with like a social media platform, for example, that gives you the freedom to be independent and create content whenever you want, but also go off and earn from that. That could be something that you're contemplating at this time. I feel a lot of you are very sensitive this month and you're deeply in your feelings about your legacy and, your sense of purpose there. But also there is this desire to have balance where you spend time with your nearest and dearest, because there's 2 cards here of gatherings. People coming together. Some of you, it could be a gathering to celebrate a person who has transitioned or passed away there, and you are celebrating their life. It could be a monumental date during this time. For some of you, it could be just celebrating the moment, hosting an event. You may host like a barbecue, or there may be an invitation that's extended where everyone gets together and just has a lot of fun. But ultimately, there is a dog and a wolf on the card. You also need alone time. The wolf is to be independent, to be wild, to be free. So a lot of you, because the Tower is there, it could be that you're looking at your sense of self and how, you used to be more independent, or you used to be more spontaneous because that Tower is there. And it could be that you are reigniting that passion, that joie de vivre, that lust for life. And it could be that you're coming out of a comfort zone in some way in order to reconnect to a part of yourself that you feel like you've lost touch with, because that King of Swords there is in the resistance position. So some of you may feel like you've lost touch with that passionate spark, because life, of course, is full of responsibilities. Now, I would also say, because we have a King of Swords there in the resistance position and the Tower, some of you may have a conflict with somebody. Now, it will be healed, okay? But I feel some truths could be put on the table there. A lot of sensitivity, a lot of people walking on eggshells there with that energy. But I do feel that it clears the air. Something from a long time ago is what I'm feeling has been playing out, or you've been enduring it as a conversation that seems to go round and round in circles. Finally, it's out. it's, dissected, and then I feel it's finally released, it's let go of. I don't feel like you'll repeat the cycle with this person, whoever this person may be. Now, at the end of the month, of course, you're focused on your sense of purpose. The Judgment card indicates you're weighing up your options in life, you're dissecting where you are right now and where you want to be, but also this can be that you're reaching for more in life. You have to let go of an old part of yourself in order to move to the next level, or you have to let go of a job that you've been in for a long time in order to embrace a new opportunity that is going to see you thrive. And that can throw up some fears or some worries or some doubt there with that moon energy, but I feel like this is your time to shine and to rise, and you've got this. And by coming out of your comfort zone, either taking a leap of faith when it comes to a project or a personal endeavor or something you've always wanted to do before. This can be that you want to do something thrilling for your birthday season. It could be a thrilling vacation, or, when people go on those thrill-seeking events, parachuting, bungee jumping, things like that. For some of you, that could appeal right now. Of course, if you're going to do that, you'll have a lot of fun there. Always go to a reputable company or service provider to do that. Of course, I don't see anything negative here. I just want you to be aware of that. But the Judgment card can be that you want to rewild a little bit. And, in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Judgment card sees people come out of their coffins, okay? And you've got the Death card right there. So you may say in your energy that you've been feeling like you've been dormant, or something has been like not moving, or there's no growth in some area, or you've just felt really stationary and stuck in a very, challenging lethargy. And it is here that suddenly you rise up. You're not accepting something, you're changing something. So it's like you're coming out of that dead wood period of your life where now you are blossoming and blooming. I feel also there's an important call coming for you at the end of the month, and this is something you will celebrate. It literally changes everything. Now, of course, depending on the way that someone's going to communicate to you, I feel a call is part of that, okay? But of course, it could come in the form of an email or a text message, but, I feel it's a call rather than something else. I feel for some of you it could be hard copy mail, but a lot of you I feel it's more like a call, okay? And the Death card is to clear space for something better. So a lot of you, this could be you actually cutting something out suddenly because you've had a major reaction to it and then you're not returning to it. It means that you are like pruning your environment. You're shaping yourself up with strictness, body, mind, and soul, because that Saturn energy says, okay, if this is hurting you, you need to stop this. If this is making you feel bored, you need to find an alternative approach to life or launch yourself out of a comfort zone. Whatever it is, I feel like you're making these necessary changes so that you can be happy, so that you can shine again. And a lot of you, with the Death card and the Star, it can indicate that something has to change for you to be successful, or something has to be done in order for you to feel free of something. There has to be an action. And I feel like you've been ruminating on this action for some time. Well, June seems to be the month where you're going to take charge of that and implement those changes in order to be free or take action. Some of you, you have to let go of one position in order to move into a new career or new position there. Others, this could be a promotion month for some of you with that Justice card and the Three of Cups. You could be working or managing a team, okay? It could also be that with that Six of Wands, you've been working on a project and suddenly you're like raised up, really successful. It could also be that you've been doing so much in your family unit. It could be that you've been pulling all the weight. You've been maybe the main breadwinner, or you've been the main support unit for everybody, a carer. You are a healer. So a lot of you could be a carer right now or have responsibilities in the home. And things could get to a climax where you're feeling a lot of pressure. The Tower can be that you have to find a creative outlet for pressure and stress. And, the world has got a little bit crazy in the last couple of years. It's always been crazy, but it has ramped up that level of craziness in the last couple of years. And it can be that you're at capacity and you're feeling that pressure and something has to give, because I feel a lot of you are managing cortisol levels this month and really focusing on your health needs because of that Star energy. So this is about healing. It's about choosing, healthier approaches to life, but also it's about being appreciated. So I see a lot of you under pressure right now. There is going to be this support network or some people coming towards you in your everyday relationships or circumstances, whether it's a boss, whether it's your friends or a family member, or even someone in your neighborhood. Could even be a landlord, for example, or a landlady. It could be someone in your immediate circumstances that shows you appreciation, a token of appreciation there, or lets you know that they are really proud of you or appreciate all that you do. And it can be just that nice little comfort that sometimes is nice to get. It's not that you need validation. It's not that you're doing something in order to get a good compliment. It just feels like, sometimes it's nice to know that people see you. Okay, and I feel this is a month to be seen. A lot of you, this energy will be that spotlight for success, a wish being delivered or something coming true for you there. The star energy can also be that, you're in a new era where you're choosing healthier options, but also you're inspired. I would say that you're going to have some sudden epiphanies this month, sudden incredible ideas that are a little bit left field, outside the box, as it were, because that star is outside the lantern. So I feel this is about you coming out of a comfort zone or out of hermit mode, because the tower can literally be your home. Sometimes we are told as society that we must, get up, have a job, get a home, build a sanctuary, all of those things. And these are things that Saturn will really influence you to do. But that can require sometimes, getting a mortgage, locking yourself into some debt, which then chains you to responsibility, for example. And it can feel heavy at times. It can feel like a never-ending cycle. But I feel here, sometimes it can also limit, when you purchase a wonderful home, for example, it could be that it's nice and cozy. Or if you rent a wonderful place, it's nice and cozy and you want to spend a lot of time there because you're house proud and it just feels great. But then they'll get to a pinnacle point where you're like, okay, it's nice here now. And, I've been reflecting on these four walls for quite some time and I love it. However, I want to do something new. I want to just come out of a comfort zone. I want to see what's going on outside my usual parameters. So it could be that you're actually, investigating your neighborhood in a different way or looking outside the norm this month at the alternative. And I feel you're going to really enjoy that. Three of Cups, people coming together, being very sociable at the end of the month there. But also I feel you will celebrate something that, is changing in your life. Whatever it may be, this change, you initiated this. And I feel it's really exciting indeed. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Tower, two figures leap into the unknown. And while I feel both characters on that card are relevant to you in particular this month, I feel one of the surprises that come in are you expecting it. Really look at that Tower energy. Look at that card if you don't have it already or you can't, see it in your mind, because there is one figure that is falling forwards and there's one that's falling backwards, okay? So one has been taken by surprise, they're falling backwards, and the other one is falling forwards. So a lot of you, there is a surprise that sees you move forwards, and the other one, it takes you by surprise. But because you have a Three of Cups here, it is something you will celebrate. It's not something that, takes you unawares and you're like falling backwards and it's negative. I don't see it being negative at all. It says here, friendship, community, and happiness. So you leave the month feeling really proud of yourself that you made headway on your circumstances. I mean, in terms of your finances, Three of Pentacles, I feel like you're building your pot. Yes, whatever money comes in, you're going to have money going out there when it comes to, your bills, your usual kind of maintaining and sustaining like responsibilities, as it were. But the Three of Pentacles can indicate that you're being clever with your finances and saving a little bit of what you earn in order to pool your resources into like a little locked off section that cannot be touched of your resources there. But some of you will utilize those resources to go out and have fun. Things like festivals, events. Variety is the spice of life. Now, the Justice card, this can be that some of you have to deal with some legal documents this month, of course, and I feel for some of you, there is this energy of making some changes or negotiating a better deal or better terms and conditions. So, for example, if you have a service provider that you've utilized for some time, you could actually find that either they shockingly change the finances, like they may try to raise the finances there. It can be that you look for an alternative service provider and actually find a better deal. However, looking at the energy, you may call your current service provider and say, hey, I know you've just raised your prices, but I've just found a competitor who's offering the same thing for a lesser price. Now I'm going to move my business elsewhere. do you want to keep me as a customer, or do you want me to move elsewhere? Because ultimately, I feel during this period, it's more power to the people. And people are shifting their alliance to certain service providers based on their personal circumstances. And if enough people kind of move to the competition, then of course, the service provider that actually raised their prices, they'll have to do something about it. They'll have to adjust, okay? So I just get this energy from your energy in particular, my beautiful Gemini, that you may actually negotiate better terms. Many, many years ago, and this is when I was really green, like I just moved into my 20s. I got a really wonderful job, very creative person, and this person, they were very confident, let's put it that way, very confident. And whenever they were unhappy with something, they would literally, I was their assistant at the time, they would literally get me to call up and say, no, I'm not accepting that. I'm going to move my business elsewhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to make that call. I would make those calls. And it was right through from everything to energy, water, phone bills, all of those things. This person was a very powerful person, and I would say they're going to remove their business, and 9 times out of 10, there was a better deal. 9 times out of 10, this person, they negotiated, of course, through me. I had to just do it until, the company backed down, basically. But I did it very diplomatically, let's say. If it was down to the person that I worked for, probably wouldn't have been so diplomatic. But basically, my point being is you never know until you ask. Okay, so I feel this is about not accepting things as they are, because there is always room for change or negotiation. So you could be doing something this month, and I'm just giving you certain experiences so you are aware of what I mean. It doesn't have to be typical to what you're going to experience, but I feel a lot of you may be negotiating something because you feel actually it's not working. So you could change a service provider if you're having intermittent problems with like your cable, if you're lucky enough to have that, or if you're having problems with the water board, for example. It could be that you are looking at where you're getting a fair deal. Okay, because this is fairness, this is equality, it's a fair exchange. And you're looking at your finances, you're being very clever this month. So some of you could actually end the contract and go to a competitor, or you could actually end a contract because you feel like you're not utilizing the resources that is on offer. So if you have a subscription to something, for example, and you're like, you know what, I rarely use it. Why am I just letting it run in the background and, nibble all my finances? So it could be that you're actually cutting things out this month. I'd also say be a little bit mindful if you've taken any sort of trial periods on anything or any free subscriptions that tick over after a certain period and you have to be charged. I would just say be mindful, because there is a potential for it to tick over this month if you do not end it, okay? So I feel some of you will have to make that call. Don't forget, okay? This is a friendly nudge there. I don't see you forgetting. I feel like you actually, you make it in the time frame. But the Justice card, it says truth, fairness, and clarity. Because we have that King of Swords here, I feel like a lot of you are speaking your truth. And I feel it's from, a very sensitive place because of the positioning of the cards. I feel like you're delivering your truth with diplomacy, but authenticity as well. There's compassion about whatever it is you have to say. So if you have to have a very important conversation this month, which I feel a lot of you do, the way you deliver it, it's like you win the room, or you win the opportunity, or you connect on a deeper level with a person, and there is an affinity there. There is healing, there is understanding and reciprocity as an outcome. Now, the Justice card can also indicate some of you may actually have to do some jury service, okay? So you could get some communication regarding that. For some of you, you may have to call up and rearrange. That's what I'm seeing there. I actually get this energy, and this is not going to resonate with all of you, so it may resonate with some of you. It could be that you call up because you have to reschedule, and they say, okay, well, you know what, we're just going to leave it for now. They do not offer you an alternative date, but in time they will reconnect to you. But I feel this time around they're like, okay, well, we'll leave that there and we'll come back. You may have to supply evidence as to why you cannot do jury service as well. That's something that's there too, okay? But contracts, a lot of you looking at soul contracts because of your 7th house, you know, the people you have an affinity with. Is there reciprocity there? Who is taking advantage of your kindness? But also, I feel this is about good karma coming back to you there as well. But also a need to make a decision or a need to make some adjustments. Because when we get stuck in a rut or a routine, the universe, if you do not notice the signs, they will send you a tower. And that is to wake you up out of the funk or launch you out of a comfort zone so that you can experience the next level of your path. And, you know, the next level for you is very positive. We have the 6 of Wands, which is all about success, being seen, being raised up there. This is a victory. Now, this could manifest in many different ways. If it's a personal project, if you're invested in your body, being more active, paying close attention to, you know, the things that you digest, not just food substances. This could be the things that you watch, things that you listen to, things that you absorb, okay? If you are someone who's been very strict with yourself regarding that recently, you're going to see a glow up. You're going to see that there's evidence of a payoff here. For some of you, this could also be that you've been working really hard on something and suddenly the win comes in, the payoff, the sweet spot, you know, the reward or an acknowledgement, a triumph. For some of you, this could literally be that you're passing a test if you're taking a test. I would say as well, if you're taking a test, make sure you leave a little bit earlier if you have to go to a destination to, you know, take that test, because I feel there may be some delays there, okay? So just watch out for that. And I feel like you may get a little bit emotional because you're under pressure to get there, but you will get there on time, but it could be like in the nick of time, which is not a really great mindset for you to start your test. However, you will pass, okay? I want you to be aware of that, so don't sweat the small stuff there. 6 of Wands, see you be very successful. And it says here, victory, success, and public reward. And the fact that you got a star energy there, a lot of you, there is public reward. Now, public doesn't have to be like members of the public that we do not know. This could be recognition from a family member, a partner, someone who raises us up and celebrates and says, you know what, you did this, you got this. So I definitely see here there is a coming togetherness at the end of the month, but also there is a win for you, a personal win. This could also be a breakthrough point emotionally. If you've been going through counseling, for example, this could be a sudden realization where you break through the walls of something and all the emotions come flowing out, and suddenly you're releasing something that has shaped who you are, kept you stuck, and maybe even guarded, protected, especially if you've been hurt in the past or had some level of trauma there. It could be that you've built walls around you that have kept you really like safe and secure. But at the same time, you know, you get to a point where you want to break free from that because it becomes a limitation rather than a safety net for you. So it could be that, you know, you're making headway emotionally on something this month and it sets you free. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Gemini? What do they need to know for the month of June? Resurrection. Yeah. I mean, this is literally your comeback month. You know, I'm feeling all this energy. The Death card is literally a resurrection. It is a revamp. There's something going on here, and it doesn't have to be just within you. Something has changed within you, but it can extend to your home space because of all that Cancerian energy. You know, DIY, decluttering, all of that. But we have momentum, okay? So something is gathering momentum. A pace is becoming a little bit quicker there in the month of June for you. But it says here, keep the momentum going. Whether big or small steps, just keep pushing for what you want. Fast, haste, charging ahead. You know, I did mention that person that I worked for, okay? And they always kept pushing. You know, keep pushing for what you want because there is a negotiation point in every single thing that we do. So I feel this is you not just negotiating with the people or circumstances around you, but it's also with the universe. It's like, okay, you know, I'm bringing my A game. I'm trying so hard. And sometimes life does not give back. That's the truth of the situation. It's not all rainbows and unicorns. We all know that. Life is a challenge. It throws curveballs at us all the time. But I feel like the way you ride that wave, I feel like you're becoming a pro at it, and I feel like you are going to meet this good karma that's headed your way. Also, success is a measure of when preparation meets opportunity, and I feel like you're prepared. 3 of Pentacles there says you have a plan. You know, you are instilling some sort of structure in your life, because the Tower can literally be a structure, and it is there where you're prepared for the success, because the opportunity is coming in. Something is being offered to you. We've also got community, okay? That's very strong in your reading. You've got 2 3s there. You're in your 7th house. So this month is all about the people that you surround yourself with. And if you're currently looking for your soul tribe, if you feel like your friendships are evolving, you know, it's very important to recognize that the Tower is an epiphany. It's a lightning bolt from the blue. And a lightning bolt is an electrical charge that is so intense, it is a high vibration, okay? And when you're on a spiritual path, you know, people who vibe higher often end up isolating for long periods of time because they're downloading more information and light, which can be exhausting, and it requires self-preservation. So some of you could have been going through that self-preservation period, and you're noticing friendships evolve. You know, sometimes we outgrow people, and that's really sad, but actually it is the nature of life. So you can embrace a new path, but also to encourage you coming out of your comfort zone and meeting like-minded individuals. So some of you may actually get involved in the community and meet soul tribe members because your intention is the 3 of Pentacles. So some of you, your intention is to connect to people. And therefore, you like have a bit of a wake-up call and decide to come out of your comfort zone because the Hermit is in the resistance position. You're leaving your home space. And then on the other side of that is a community. People who really vibe and get you, where you're truly seen and you can integrate and feel joy and connection. That's one of the most important things in life, connection with others there. But of course, it must be balanced with alone time because sometimes it gets a little bit too peoply out there. But also we have this resurrection card. So this is your take back your life moment, as it were, in the month of June. You are empowered. You're rising up. And interesting that, you know, the Phoenix did show up in your reading because the Tower, it's like you're rising from the ashes. If you've gone through a shock or if you've gone through a disappointment, this is empowering you for your rise. Often people who are really successful, they will tell you about all the chaos or the challenge they had before their rise to the position they're in. And I feel you're on the up now. You're moving to the next level. And it says, shake off the past and rise again. Reinvent yourself and you'll rise up from the ashes even more powerful than before. Recovery, comeback, and return. I mean, that's what your whole reading was about. And I just love the fact that this card came out there for you to really support the energy of this month and highlight that everything that I channel in the energy and the cards and the meanings of the cards, always look up the meanings of each card because you'll know that I'm giving you an energy of what it means as well as how it connects and also the energy that I'm feeling as I'm scrying. And everything is connected. So you'll see that I'm giving it all in the reading. That's why they often are very detailed readings there. So I'm just going to go and give you a trinket or rune before we close. Okay. So we have the dragonfly. Now the dragonfly often connects to living in the moment, you know, the present moment, because dragonflies, they have a certain dance, as it were, a rhythm that they get into. It's like a short span of life, recognizing that life is sweet, life is fleeting, you know, that we are here to have experiences and try and enjoy the moment. Easier said than done, I know, especially when challenge is thrown our way, but there's always a lesson to learn in those challenges to prepare us for the next part of our journey. But this trinket can actually connect to a soulmate. So because the Hermit is in the resistance position, I feel a lot of you could actually meet a person in some sort of social gathering. This person will call you. This person, they have only eyes for you, and this is a relationship where you have a contract with this person. So I feel there is the potential for love, but of course, if you're a homebody, then of course, maybe online dating or chat forums could be a place where you'll meet this. There's an online community feel if you're, you know, housebound, for example. But if you're not, it could be that you're exploring, you know, unusual parameters or going to events that you've never been to before. And it is here that you'll find this very unique person who's been laid out especially for you. Okay, so I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. My beautiful Gemini, thank you so much, and love and light.